users have a 4.8-fold increase in risk of a heart attack 1 hour after smoking. That's interesting. Okay. In the British Medical Journal, marijuana users who drove within 3 hours of smoking had doubled their risk of an accident. Yeah, it's understandable. We have a world that's saying it's cool, everything's fine, but it isn't really fine. It's good for A and B, but not holistic. Look at this story.
Is that reversible with the use of live
Well, we gotta get to the story. Smoking marijuana affects brain development. This is a really important. This is the National Institute of Drug Abuse. And basically, what they're saying is, smoking marijuana interferes with your normal brain development. So, when teenagers or less, okay, we are actually disrupting the normal brain development, particularly in socialization and particularly in intimacy. Those are big breakdown areas, not good for like later on in your life, and stays with you, okay? So this is a big deal. It affects brain development, okay? And there's a direct correlation between adolescent pot smoking and increased relationship and intimacy difficulties, irrespective of your social upbringing. In other words, it's independent of all the classes. Every class is affected, okay? Smoking it regularly affects your brain in a way that impacts intimacy capacity. It affects the brain immediately and in the long term, okay, even after you quit to a certain extent. Okay, and then the Washington Post says teenagers who smoke pot daily are 60% less likely to complete high school. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. So we're talking real statistics over periods of time. Colorado marijuana smoking among teens is up, and it is connected to increase in suspensions, expulsions, and 57% increase in emergency room visits. And traffic fatalities among marijuana positive drivers are up 100%. It's Colorado, so we're really they're testing kind of some stuff of thinking. Rates of use among high school seniors was up 22% in 2011, and illicit drug use has risen 43% among Hispanic boys and 42% among Afro-American teenage girls. So this is a concern, obviously.
Was that last thing about just drugs in general, or just marijuana?
It was more marijuana.
Okay.
Studies show high doses of marijuana can cause temporary psychotic reactions such as hallucinations and paranoia. And I'll tell you that happens more than infrequently. As a psychiatrist, you would see this, and also people dipping into schizophrenia. Definitely has been associated with an increase in schizophrenia. I've had people, they smoke and they become schizophrenic, and it may take them a year or two to recover. And you do everything you can not to have them do this again, which often they do. So it's a really serious thing. It ruins people's lives, okay? Marijuana use promotes the greater rates of sexual dysfunction, loss of sexual and erectile function, okay? Second leading substance for which people receive drug treatment. We tend to think it's other things, but it's really not. Okay, marijuana potency has tripled over the past 20 years, and it is linked to lower IQ, as much as the point drop. And that's because it actually destroys brain cells. In 1970, when I was doing research in THC to get it, I had to do a review of all the literature, and they studied people in Jamaica for 20 years, and regular hashish and marijuana users, and there was a tremendous loss in brain cell function, a tremendous increase in cognitive decline after 20 years. But you could measure the size of the brain. They really shrunk the brain. This is what we're talking about. So it goes on a little bit, but that's making the point. Marijuana use is associated with addiction, respiratory illness, and cognitive development. This is all National Institute of Health. That may be the effect of marijuana smoking increases the fourfold concentration of the chemicals. People affected by marijuana addiction as well as cigarette as well as cognitive development. And long-term research on pot shows that chronic users will suffer brain cell loss. Oh, what to do? There's a little puzzle. Oh my God, I did that, right?